Good morning, good morning. It's your girl. Yes, it's me. And this is Karina's Forte. Oh my goodness, we got a week ahead. And yes, for the record, we changed the time because I'm a morning person, y'all. And I feel like sometimes you just need something in the morning because the Breakfast Club ain't that good anymore, is what I'm saying. They got their own issues, which we'll talk about in this coming episode. We're also going to talk about um, Elon, his breakdown, and all his losses. And we're going to talk about this administration, what they're starting to do, and what is happening. What is happening? You know, I'm going to give you the word on the streets. We gotta talk about it. And man, this episode is going to include a little bit of love. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned. Check me out. It's going to be fire. All right. The streets is talking, y'all. Ooh, there's so much going on right now. The biggest thing right now is our government that fired all of those people. Over 25,000 people they fired. Judge ordered that they will have to give them their jobs back. It's wild, right? Because there's a lot of people that work for the government that have specific talents. Like nothing you can go to on a job board and find. Specific, characteristics, specific skills. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can you hand in a resume and say, hey, yeah, I used to be a sharpshooter. Sharpshooter? Where you going to find a job like that? Probably a mercenary. I'm just saying, those type of jobs are jobs they were letting go. Like, really? Come on. Or in space, the stuff they did with NASA. Now, I do admit NASA, it used to be cool to see NASA do what they do, but now it's just like, who cares? I know that sounds terrible, right? But I don't think President Trump likes them either because he is dicing and slicing with this damn Elon. Speaking of Elon, man, do you know he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for losing the most money in a shorter period of time? Since December, Elon Musk, Tesla, has lost over $135 billion. That's a lot of money. It's so much so that like one of the people on his board was like, hey, Elon, man, you gonna have to step down. Elon don't want to step down. You know why? He likes to try to be the king of everything. Come to find out he ain't made nothing. He just put his money on stuff. He's not as intelligent as we think he is because he's going in there cutting programs. He's not even asking what they do, none of that. Or he shouldn't even have to ask what he do. If you're in that position, you should know what they do already, but he doesn't. So a judge is finally saying, hello, we need to see why you cutting these places. You know what I'm saying? We need to see your findings and we need to see how much you cut and why you cut it. So somebody's finally holding him accountable. And it's like, I'm looking at Congress like, who the hell is there? Because y'all a bunch of punks. How you gonna let this dude just come in? He got no government clearance, nothing. Just because the president say he cool? No, it don't work like that. That's just like, you invite your friend somewhere, right? But then they bring somebody else when you only invited them, but you don't even know this person. I don't give a shit if you do get a nod. It's a no, because you were the only one invited. Hello? Anyway, Trump and his little friend are still trying to tear up the White House, but as soon as they do something, thank God for some of the judges saying, I don't give a damn if you put me in this position, President, Mr. President. This is still my job. I still have to go by the book. And so big up to all the judges actually holding their ground. Also, big up to all the agencies that are not allowing Doge in. Big up to you. Because most of them just open the door like, well, I don't give a damn. Say no. He got to give back your jobs. He's doing a lot of illegal shit. See, if nobody is checking for you, then you can do whatever you want. So now they being watched heavily because now people like, hold on, They know how much I made last year. They know what I did with my finances. So this is a good time, people out there, to get your credit fixed. Because since Elon and Doge have been moving around about the room freely, shit, fix your credit. While you're at it, I got something I need to take off. Anybody out there, the credit hacks, hit me up. I'll give you a little commercial on here. That's what I'm saying. I'm for real. And the streets is talking. Another thing the streets are talking about is the damn Breakfast Club. Now, the Breakfast Club been on for almost 15 years, right? And so they had Angela Yee on there, and she left, and got to host her own show. Now, I kind of like Angela Yee, but I don't really remember her much. The things I do remember are not flattering. Like, she used to not be on the ladies' side when they came in there on certain situations that were women's issues. She kind of sided with Envy and Charlemagne, right? And for all those who don't know, Charlemagne is like the beacon on that show because he's the one who has kept it running. It's not that he's funny or anything, but he asks intense questions. There'll be some people in there that want to whoop his ass, and he still, maintains himself. DJ Envy, he got his own problems. He doesn't add either. He think he does, but he really just doesn't add to the show. But he's been on there so long that I guess he's just written his place. So it's all good though, because the two ladies on there are actually really good. Now the thing is, they got Jess on there because they thought Jess could add a whole different element, meaning like a comedic element that they've never had. And also, they thought she could bring all her followers, her millions of followers, to the show too, because the show was kind of lacking. Because with them two, it's super boring. Angela Yee made it maybe a little bit more interesting because then they used to disrespect her. That's what I thought. Anyway, I stopped watching it because I only like certain segments, like when they did their little chop up of certain things. That's the only thing I watched. I never really watched a whole episode. You know what I mean? That's different. So they got Jess Hilarious was on FMLA for all the people who don't know. His Family Medical Leave Act. And so she was out on that. And that's when corporate felt like, damn, maybe we don't need this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Jess really understood because Jess is not corporate. Jess is definitely hood, straight hood. And so the other girl, Lauren, is, I'm going to say educated, college educated, and she speaks eloquently. You know what I mean? Not to diss Jess because everybody got their own little thing. The thing is, what Jess is missing is artist development. See, Jess doesn't know how to talk in interviews and stuff like that and what questions to ask. She's learning though. She's learning now after all of this. She's learning, but artist development is so important. I know we don't have it anymore, but we really need it. Between her, Anthony Edwards, I know he's in the NBA, but they need that because a lot of times they don't know what to say. They coming from the streets and it's a whole different code. I understand what she's saying. I understand what he's saying. But at the same time, you have to have a certain, I'll say, about yourself and learn how to, talk in certain rooms, certain arenas. You know what I mean? And neither one of them have that. And that's what's lacking with all entertainment. Even, basketball, that's entertainment also. So anything in entertainment, we used to have artist development and it worked great. It told you how to speak in interviews. It told you what to say and what not to say. You know what I mean? Even if you're feeling something, just let certain things go. But then you look at LeBron James' son, he knows exactly what to say. And the kid is what, 20? You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's a difference because that means that LeBron James put his son through it, and then other people that, have had that happen is Jalen Hurts. He's young, but he got a team of ladies. They was not playing. Whoever their team is, that's who y'all need to call. Or if you're looking to start a new business, please start that because they need it bad, as you can see. So anywho, the ladies worked it out, even though I believe Charlemagne tried to start something between them by having Jess tell Lauren to shut up. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Black women is shut up is not a thing. You will get beat down is what I'm saying. Be quiet, hush, all of that. Don't ever tell us that. Please don't. Yeah, you want to see a different side. It's going to be a different side of us. So, anywho, the lesson to learn from this, people, is corporate waits for no one. If you are on point, cool. But if you're not, they will get rid of your ass, contract or not. That's just how it is, period. I'm just saying. Anywho, so now I want to say it with my chest. Say it with my chest. And the thing is this, I don't even understand how we still have sundown towns. Why? What's the purpose? White people, we don't want to go to no mountains where you at. We don't. We may hike. There's some of us like to hike and do stuff like that, but why do you want to hunt people for sport? So let me tell you, it was two twin boys, teenagers, 19, both of them, of course. Uh, they were on their way to the airport because they had tickets to Boston. Now, I believe, now, I believe, now this is my feelings. I believe they called the Uber. The Uber driver seen that these was two young boys, black boys, but from the suburbs. And most of these kids nowadays, they don't pay attention. They, using on their phone or whatever, they're not paying attention to where they're going, none of that stuff. They just get in the Uber. The Uber already knows where they're going. Boom, boom, boom. But the Uber driver, they're not paying, since the guys are not paying attention, the Uber driver sees them and is just mad. You know what I mean? Maybe because of what they had on, maybe because they were going to the airport. I don't know. Stupid stuff, right? And while these guys are not paying attention, he drives them in the opposite direction of the airport. He takes them to a sundown town. And when they finally realize, hey, this is not the airport, they're already surrounded by a bunch of redneck hillbillies. Those people take those two boys and they sacrifice them on a mountain, Bell Mountain, Georgia. And then a grown ass man, y'all. This is how crazy it is. A grown ass man actually takes the time to take pictures of their lifeless bodies. Like who would do shit like that? You white people, you do things like that. That's what you guys do. When's the last time you heard of a black person hanging a white person? You haven't. We don't do shit like that. I'm not saying we don't do crimes, but nobody has done the most heinous crimes in the world but you. But to kill those boys for no damn reason and then make up the silliest story. Now, these boys ain't never been to that part of Georgia ever in their life. Okay? And they want to say that it was like a murder suicide. So one twin killed their brother, and then killed themselves. And you gonna go way out to a sundown town to do it? They could have did it right at home. So no, I need you, GBI, to do your fucking job because you need to give these parents, you need to give them justice. And all you people in those towns that's right there and all around it, because I know you guys are 85% Trumpers. Cool, great for you. But don't be surprised when your area starts getting invaded on the low. You don't remember what happened? We don't either. Now, I'm not condoning any violence. I'm just hoping that you seek the karma that you dished out. That's it. I had to say it with my chest for Quadir and Nadir Lewis. May you rest in peace and may your family get justice. They will. They will. Ah, man. And we got to get right into The comebacks and the clapbacks. No clapbacks today, but one of the dopest comebacks. And I knew this from the beginning. We're going to have to give it to Bronny James. Yeah, Bronny James, started off slow. And everybody keeps talking about his college stats. They were low. But people forget that this kid had a goddamn heart attack. People, you don't go to work if you got a stomach ache. So this kid probably was afraid to do anything because he didn't want to be in that condition anymore. See, he had to build up his confidence because you got to remember what kind of stock he comes from. We talking about the GOAT. And yeah, I said the GOAT. LeBron James is a magnificent specimen. That man, not an ounce of fat on him, 40 years old, is still banging him in the head. Now his son, watch. There has never been in the history of the NBA so much what? And people have too much to say about a 55th pick, second round 55th pick, because he's LeBron James' son. It's cool. The kid took that shit and put it on his back, and he's been working hard. I think he don't like them talking like that. And now that fear, thank you for shaking off his little fear, because of the heart attack. And there's grown people that have heart attacks that won't do certain things either because they're worried that they may have another one. And this time they might not make it. So now seeing this kid shake this off and actually do the damn thing, they gave him a lot more minutes. In a Lakers game recently where he scored 17 points. Shit, he's doing better than the rookies that they actually have on the bench sitting out there. He's doing better in the G League than anybody also. So he may just get Rookie of the Year for all that talking because you can't stand his daddy. Yes! For the comeback, Bronny James, bro, I send many blessings to you, and I'm looking forward to what you're about to do in the future because you really gonna razzmatazz their ass, is what I'm saying. That's how it's going down, people. But yeah, if we have the clapbacks and comebacks, it has to be followed by who needs a whooping. And this week, I think this dude gonna get a lot of whoopings this year. It goes to Stephen A. Because Stephen A had to eat crow after talking shit about Bronny James. He had to apologize on air. We ain't gonna go too much in it, but you know what kind of guy this guy is. The whooping of the year goes to your ass. I said the year, right? Because it's going to happen again. We're going to say the whooping of the week. But anywho, eat crow. Eat crow, Stephen A. Yeah. So I know I talk about all the crazy things that happen in America and all the, little beefs going on. But I got another segment. The love language versus the lust language. Now, recently, Jonathan Majors and my girl Megan Good got hitched on the low, which I think is fire because people was talking so much shit about them. But to see Jonathan Majors happy and how he spoke so highly of her, you know what he said? Now, this is the thing that most fellas don't never say, y'all. He said, I felt worthy of her presence, of being in her presence. Worthy? Fellas don't say stuff like that. He said she has helped him tremendously. Said she came through as a friend when he needed someone to be on his side the most. Because he went through all that drama. And she stayed by his side. They grew closer. They're both actors. They understand each other. And honestly, I think it's a good look. People don't think he's handsome, but I think he has his own little way. I think he has a manly man look, if you understand. Like he's definitely not a feminine man at all. And I can see why uh, Megan would love him or fall in love with him. Big up to them. I mean, that's a serious love language right there. Now let's get into the lust language. Oh my God. Shannon Sharp was interviewing Young Miami. And Young Miami is a beautiful young woman. But she's a trick. At least that's what she said. She said trick at least 35 times on the show. Tricking. I know you're going to trick harder and all of this. And it's like, Shannon, your show, Cat gave you the illest start and you messing it up this year. He hooked you up last year. Now you just messing it up by throwing all these ratchet ass people on here. And Young Miami's ratchet. I don't care what nobody says. That many times a woman calls herself a trick. Shit, you gotta believe her. So people, that's a lust language because she kept asking him, so Shannon, you single? And Shannon like, what? You trying to hit on me? Yeah, you big dummy. More than likely, he probably will, hit that. Because she says she's a trick. Trick or treat. It's early. It's too early for that. It's too early for that. But anywho, know the difference, people. Love language, lust language. You see, lust and sound crusty, don't it? Oh man. Another thing, another new segment I like. All right. My other new segment is let's just get into it. What you mix with? This is where we break down the wild combinations of people's DNA or what we think is personality, right? So some of y'all are 50% delusional, 30% bad credit, right? And 20% it wasn't me. People who act like they're motivational scammers. They're millionaires, but they're really motivational scammers, right? So they're 50% hustle, 30% broke, and 20% fake guru. It's a lot of them. And the people who always stay in the mess, but swear it only happens to them, right? There's 60% drama, 25% victim, and 50%, but that ain't do nothing. It's crazy, right? So this is my new little segment, and I love it. You know what I mean? And then I be laughing at the people who feel like they're spiritual, the spiritual ones, but they still move like villains. You know what I'm saying? So 70% energy healer, 20% home wrecker, and then 10% crystal collector. And then those people, right, who are dope, are solid people, right? But they also still have a little fight ready in them, right? So they would be 50% real one, 40% petty, and 10% say it to my face. If you know anybody with any kind of combinations you want to come up with, please hit me up at karinafort@gmail.com and we can get in it and get at it. Let me know. You can be anonymous too, and I'll definitely give you a combination of. All right? Cool. Now, it's time to shut it on down. Let's bring it on down. It's time to shut it on down. At the end of the day, with everything that's going on, people, the least thing you could do is be nice. There's so many people out there that will push your buttons. They know which buttons to push, but you can't allow it though, because the person that pushes your buttons, right, and angers you, controls you. So take your control back and don't let anything anger you. If it's something you can walk away from, please do it. I'm learning this now too, because me, I'm always ready for a good little fight. Like a debate. You can get these hands too, is what I'm saying. But no, it's better to be kind, especially in times like this, what we're going through. Save your money. Pay attention to where you can make it grow. And everybody, really start thinking about being an entrepreneur, because that's the only true freedom we can have in the world right now. I'm just saying. I still need you to get up. Yeah, you. Get up, get out, and get some, baby.